Cantagallo was bought my grandfather in 1970 and is a family business because after my grandfather Garibaldo entered in the winery Enrico in 1990, and after, for the beautiful relationship that we have between brother and sister, I started to work in Cantagallo with Enrico and other two sisters, Enrica and Serena. With Enrico also we decided in 1995 to buy Le Farnete winery in Carmignano because we discovered that in Carmignano there was a very beautiful history about more than 300 years of story of Cabernet Sauvignon in Carmignano.
Dario, tell us about your goals with your wineries.
Yes, Siegfried. In the last few years with Enrico, I started to have more possibility to decide which kind of line we can have with our wines. In the past, we was more concentrated in the production of our basic wine and the medium wine. Now, with the more age of our vineyards, we concentrated to start to produce more intensive wine, more high quality wines, because our grandfather taught to me, Enrico, that the quality of the wine born in the vineyards. So now we start to have a very beautiful vineyards with a medium age between 20 and 40 years old, and this allowed us to have a very beautiful grape selection to use to produce more high quality wine.
Dario, tell me about your products from your two wineries.
Yes, my family wine is very large because with Cantagallo, that is our main winery, we worked with Sangiovese, because when we speak about Tuscany and about Chianti, we speak about 100% Sangiovese. For this reason, Enrico, we decided to plant in Cantagallo 3 different clones of Sangiovese, because in Cantagallo we start from 250 meters and we arrive to the top of Montalbano Hill at 420 meters. For this reason, different altitude, different microclimate allowed to plant different kind of Sangiovese. For this reason, we have our Chianti Montalbano DOCG and our Chianti Montalbano Riserva DOCG that are 100% Sangiovese. They are a puzzle made with 3 different clones of Sangiovese. Chianti Montalbano is vinified only in the still tank because for us must be similar the old Chianti, must be very fresh, fruity and drinkability, easy to drink and to understand, because my dreams, my goal is when I want to drink a glass of wine, I drink a glass of Chianti Montalbano. That is very fresh, easy to drink, not need also to have food, and I can use also in the summer as aperitif, because the elegance of the tannins allowed us to serve at 16 degrees in the summer. Our Chianti Montalbano Riserva is the best selection of our Sangiovese grapes in the vineyard with more than 25 years old. It is aged 1 year in New French Tonneau, and it is aged 1 year in bottle before to sell. In the family of Cantagallo winery, after we have Gioveto, that is our, we can describe as our super Tuscan wine, is a blend of 60% Sangiovese, 20% Merlot and 20% Syrah. I like to describe Gioveto as a female super Tuscan wine, where the Sangiovese is the body of the female wine, the Merlot gives more fruity, more charm to the wine, and the Syrah planted in the area of Chianti Montalbano with a lot of forest gives a very beautiful spicy note. That is the character of this beautiful female wine. Last but not least, about the red wine of Cantagallo is our new last project. Is called Il Fondatore Chianti Montalbano Riserva. Is the first time that from 1970 until now we produced a Premier Cru that is made with a single vineyard. Is only one clone of Sangiovese, and in Il Fondatore we decided to start to produce in order to have a very elegant Sangiovese with a very beautiful aroma and bouquet, not only structure, but we would like to maintain the floral notes of Sangiovese as iris, violet and lavanda. We aged 1 year in big oak from French, and it is aged 1 year in bottle before to sell.
After so much infos about the different wines of Tenuta Cantagallo, it will be very exciting to see more about the work behind those high-quality wines. Therefore, we will follow Enrico Pierazzuoli a few kilometers away from Tenuta Cantagallo, up to the Montalbano hill, to the highest vineyard at 420 meters above sea level.
Welcome in Paradise Vineyard in Cantagallo. There is the new vineyards, and I wish to explain you the balance between the leaf and the quantity to explain how we can produce Sangiovese better quality than in the past. So to produce the quality we need to have less production with more leaf. That's why we plant more vine stock than in the past, 6,200, than my grandfather used to do in the past, 3,300. The balance from the leaf and the grape is important things to do, to follow. 1 kilo of grape produce 1 bottle of wine. That's why our principle of production is no more than 1 bottle of wine from each vine. But to mature perfectly 1 kilo we need to have 1.20 meters square of leaf, because the maturation of the grape, the adding sugar coming from the sun. So south exposure, the sun through the leaves arrives the sugar and the maturation in the grape. That's why we need to work more in the vineyard than in the wine cellar. But if we work well in the vineyard, we work less in the wine cellar. This is the grape after the harvesting machine. We can select using the harvesting machine regulation. We can select each single grapes from the bunches we wish to harvest. That, for example, is a sick grape. We not appreciate it about the quality and we cannot harvest. The brush. Here you have the brush. The red brush means the maturation, the polyphenolic maturation is to the top. So we have the color not only in the skin, but the color is able to go inside the vine. That's why we decided to use a machine to be more faster when we decide when we need. You can see the bad bunches, the bad grapes is in the grape. Another selection we have in the wine cellar. when we download the grape, we can select another time each grape separately to select more quality in the grape, more quality in the wine. Ora è un viaggio stasera, per averlo viene a fare un viaggio semmai a lui, tanto lui deve andare a mangiare, se è a mezzogiorno. Now we are in the cellar fermentation, where we receive the grape during the harvesting time, and here we have the first fermentation, the alcoholic fermentation. It's important to understand that in Cantagallo we used to work only with the red grapes. That's the reason why we choose this particular tank. This tank is different than the other one in the past. We have a larger section. Using the larger section, we have a thin cap in the top, and it's easy for us to wash the grape. When we receive the grape from the vineyard, we use to put in the tank, and the fermentation dividing the liquid in the bottom, the skin in the top. The top with the skin we used to call a cap. So how we can extract the substance from the skin? Washing it. So we pump the wine from the bottom of the wine, the liquid, to the top. We need to wash all the skin to extract all the substance we have in the skin, in the grape. That is the reason why, that's why we decided to use a larger section, because we have a small, a thin cap, and it's easy to wash it, differently than in the past, where we have a smaller tank, so more high cap, more difficult is to extract the substance. We harvest 100%, we extract 50. Now we harvest 100, we extract 100. Another difference is the 4 hole you have on the top. Why 4 hole? Because we can wash easier all the tap, all the cap. That's why we decide to go in this direction, producing the grape, transforming our wines, increasing the quality. We are in the oak cellar of Cantagallo farm. In this cellar we maintain the wine, the red wine, for maturing in the oak. As you can see, we have several different capacity. Why? Because each wines need different capacity, different oak. For example, Gioveto is an international blend, so we can use more new oak, 60%, and we use barrique. Smaller is the capacity, more aggressive is the tannins you have in the wine. That's why we decided to divide the 2 different capacity. Small capacity for Gioveto, more international taste. Big capacity for Sangiovese. In Sangiovese we use 3 different capacity: 500 liter tonneau, 25 hectoliters, and 12 hectoliters, depending from the wine that we wish to obtain. In the oak, it's important to choose not only the percentage of a new oak, but it's important also to use the different oak. We choose Allier because for us Allier is the best oak we have for Sangiovese blend, for Sangiovese wine. That's why we decide, and we have only 100% of Allier oak. It's important to have in this area the humidity. The humidity here is around 75–80%. The humidity is necessary to maintain elastic the oak. So if the oak drink the water, drink the humidity, not drink
our wines. Welcome in a bottling wine cellar. Here, after bottling processing, we store the bottle for a long time. Usually we have the same time in the oak, same time in the bottle before selling the wine. It's important when we bottling the wine, we have a stressing, and so it's important to store the bottle lay down before selling, so you can taste the wine immediately ready for drinking. We use to store in all the wine cellar around 90,000 bottles here and 40,000 bottles in Carmignano. Usually before selling we maintain this quantity, so we have time for long aging. For Riserva we used to have 1 year before selling the wine. For Chianti Montalbano and Barco Reale usually we have 4 months. It's important to understand how we can store and how we can check the bottle, because also the quality of the bottle you receive is important for the wine and this quality of the wine. So we store the bottle lay down with no packaging, so we can check the quality of the cork. We have no problem with the bottle. Then when we receive the order, we labeling the order. We have handly packaging for all the wine, and handly packaging is helpful for us also to ensure the quality of the wine that you receive. So handling preparation to check the quality of the label, to check the quality of the packaging before shipping the wine. We want to be sure that when we ship the bottle from Cantagallo and Le Farnese, you receive excellent wine also in the packaging.
So much secrets about Cantagallo wines we've learned from Enrico. But I'm sure, Dario, you will tell us still something about a certain speciality.
Yes, is our Vinsanto del Chianti Montalbano DOC Riserva is our dessert wine that is made more for passion than for business, because when you say Vinsanto, you say the traditional wine from Tuscany. For us, Vinsanto is the wine of the hospitality. When we receive the best friends, we offer a glass of Vinsanto. When we receive a normal friends in Tuscany in the past, we offered a glass of wine, because Vinsanto is made with 80% Trebbiano and 20% Malvasia. We hang on the grapes to the roof until January. In January we press softly and we put in the barrique of Gioveto and Carmignano Riserva for 5 years. After 5 years we bottle it, we keep 1 year in the bottle, and after we start to sell and of course also to drink, because it's very good wine.
Dario, tell us about the products of your second winery, Le Farnese.
Yes, Le Farnese is located in the Carmignano area, that is one of the smallest Italian DOCG, but with a very beautiful history, started in 1716 with the Medicis families. The Medicis families was the most important family of Florence, and they fall in love for Carmignano area, and they planted for the first time a foreign grape, a French grapes in Carmignano. For this reason, in the past, all the wine growers say that Carmignano was produced with Sangiovese, the old name of Sangiovese, with French grapes. That was the Cabernet. Nowadays, we produce all the wine from Carmignano with 80% Sangiovese and 20% Cabernet Sauvignon. We are allowed to use other grapes, but for us it's very important the story of our zone. We believe in autochthon grapes, and Sangiovese and Cabernet, they are autochthon grapes of Carmignano area. We have Barco Reale di Carmignano that is made with Sangiovese and Cabernet Sauvignon and is vinified only in the still tank because it must be the wine for every days from the Carmignano area. Also we have the Carmignano DOCG that is made always with 80% Sangiovese, 20% Cabernet Sauvignon, is aged 8 months in French tonneau, not new tonneau, but 1 year old, because I want in all the wine that we produce to maintain a balance between the fruity and the wood smoke aroma. I produce wine and I work in the vineyards. So in the vineyards I cultivate the grapes and I want to have more fruity than wood smoke aroma, otherwise all the wine are the same using the barrel. Last but not least is the Carmignano Riserva that we obtained in the last 3 years, always 3 glasses in Gambero Rosso, is the best selection of 80% Sangiovese and 20% Cabernet Sauvignon. For Carmignano Riserva we use our old vineyards of Cabernet that is 50 years old. For this reason in our Carmignano Riserva the tasting of the Cabernet is more deep respect Barco Reale and Carmignano because the age of the vineyards. It is aged 1 year in a new French barrique and after bottling is aged 1 year in bottle before to start to sell.